Hi, and welcome to this very quick tutorial. I'm hoping it's quick tutorial on how to make these gorgeous 3x4 digital cards for your project life or for your scrapbooking. Um, Now, the first thing we have to do is grab our rectangle tool here, and I'm just going to come over here to my paper, and I'm just going to create any size shape for right now. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go and get I should learn the select tool and select that rectangle whatever box rectangle, chunky rectangle that I just created. And I'm going to come up here to my scale icon, and I'm just going to change the setting because I already know the size of the card, or the measurements of the cards are 3x4. That is what will go into my album. And I'm just going to put it right there. I also don't, when I'm creating cards, for some reason, I don't know why, I don't like the outline of red. I like it to be black, so I'm just going to go where it has all the rainbow color lines there and select black. And I also want to make another one because we're making two cards, so I'm going to go over here to our replicate icon and duplicate below. And using my down arrow key, I'm just going to lower it out of the way. There we go. And I'm going to go back up here and select it. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it here. And now what we need is this yummy paper. And what I love about this paper is that I don't have to work hard to embellish it digitally, or hopefully on my table. I might ink it up a little bit, but that's about it. I love the layers that has already been provided by the designer. So that is what drew me to the paper, as well as the color of the paper. I loved it. Very colorful, and I had to get it. I'm a paper hoarder, virtually and in the craft room. Okay, so I just selected the icon here with the polka dots, which is our pattern window. And the first thing you're going to see is this fill pattern. And you're going to see a whole bunch of patterns here, and these have come with, all these patterns come with your program. So just go around and play around and see what you got lots of different textures you can play with and stuff too. And then also you can import patterns, the papers that you purchased at Silhouette store or from other designers as well. You can bring them in. The only thing is when you are importing papers from other designers outside of Silhouette store, you have to downsize the paper because, and I don't mean in DPI, I just mean the size of it, because some of them are quite large and the program or if your machine might not be able to handle that, and you're going to start to see funny things happening to your design and what's happening on your mat. So just make sure that, like for instance, if I get a 12x12 paper at 300 DPI, I will then reduce it to a 6x6 and just leave it at 300 DPI. That way I have no problem in my program. Also, I don't store a lot of papers in my palette here because my machine can only take so much. So I have to take all those things into consideration. You wouldn't think the papers are a lot, but they take up a lot of room. Okay, so you can import paper from anywhere, and of course the Silhouette store. And then of course you can do your own paper. So I have a section where I have my papers that I work with, that I tend to gravitate towards, that I use frequently. So I keep them handy here. But this time I'm not going to be using a paper of mine. I'm going to be using the paper that I purchased at Silhouette store. And there it is right there. I love the color, I love all the layers, and I really love the cake design too. And when I see all this together, it instantly reminds me of Marie Antoinette. So of course I don't want to leave the card as is. I mean, you could, if you left it like this, and you could put some writing in there, print, run it through your printer. But I actually had something in mind, and I wanted to put some wording going down the side of the cake. So, and of course, when I'm thinking of Marie Antoinette, I'm thinking let them eat cake. So this card would be perfect for a birthday or something. What I need to do right now is I need to get the scale to be larger. So what I want to do is go down here to the bottom where it says Advanced Options, and I'm just going to bring the scale up to 150 to start with. And I'm also going to select this little icon here called the pan pattern, and that's going to allow me to move the paper around within the 3x4 card that I have created. And just by looking at it, I can see that I need to increase it just a little bit more, and I'm going to select my pan. Every time you let go of this pan icon, then you have to click on it again. So I'm going to click on that again. I need it a little bit bigger, and I think I like it there. Perfect. Okay, so the next step now is to get the words to go on the cake. And it looks tricky, but it's not. It's really super easy. I will zoom in though, of course, for this, because I am blind and I need to see the lines. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a path for our text. And we're going to do that by grabbing our Draw Freehand. And I'm not using a mouse or a pen or anything like that. I'm simply using my fingers on, what is it, the trackpad on the Mac here. I hope I have the right terminology. If not, sorry. And I'm just going to try my best to create that shape. And I don't have it quite exact, so I just went up here and selected the Edit Points icon. And I'm just going to select the line that I just made right now, and I'm going to fix it up so that it goes with the curve of the cake here. Okay, and that looks good there. And just this little one here. It's so little I can barely see it, so I'm hoping it'll turn out okay. Okay, so there is, you can see right now it's red. I'm gonna just highlight it or click on it. Oops, I didn't select it there. I'm just gonna select it. I'm gonna select it whether you like it or not, Mr. Computer. Okay, I'm gonna select it and move it over there. Okay, and as you can see, the line that is red, and that's going to change in a few minutes. So what we want to do is we want to get our words in, and our little phrase here is let them eat cake. So I just clicked on the text icon here, and I'm going to click right there, anywhere, it doesn't matter, and I'm going to bring my text down to about 24, I think. We'll see, we'll start there. The font that I'm using is Henny Penny. I like this font, it's super cute. Reminds me of that story as a kid where the chicken, was it the hen? She was making the bread and she was asking everybody for help, and nobody would help her make the cake. However, they all wanted to help her eat it. So I don't, reminds me of that. It goes, I think it's cute. So let them eat cake. Okay, so right now it's just coming out red, the red outline, and what we want to do is highlight all of that. So by clicking down and then highlighting it all, and then going up here to our fill color window and selecting white. We're also going to go over here to the line color window, and we're going to go to the netting here, this icon, and select no lines because we don't want any lines. And then what we're going to do is go back and select our phrase here and double click. And we want to double click and make sure that we can see this icon here, because this little icon, we're going to click on it and we are going to click and drag it on to our line that we created. And if you just notice, the line went from red to a very light gray. Now all of our words look pretty kind of good there. Good English, except it's stuck there at the EM and it's all squished at the cakes. So we need to fix that. We're going to do that with our character spacing, and we may have to reduce the size of our letters. And just as I thought, we're going to have to reduce the size of our letters. So they're going to go from 24 to 18. That way they'll fit. And again, we're going to go and select the spacing and make sure that they all get across there. Let them, no, I want to go up a little bit more. There we go. Now these two are squished a little bit together, but not a big deal. Okay, so I'm happy with that, and what I want to do now is I want to select that gray line, and I'm going to go to the line color window here, and I'm going to select no line color, and that's going to make that go away. And then I'm just going to, it's always a tricky one, and I know why it does that now. So it's because I took away the line and I can't find it there. So I think next time what I would do is I'll leave the line until I've placed it, as otherwise it's really super tricky to get it to go and highlight it, or select it anyways. So there I have my words, and I can see it on the cake right now, and I'm not liking how it's sitting. So what I'm going to do is, there, that's better. Let them eat cake. That's much better than how I had it. Okay, so there is our first card. Now we're going to have to be careful, because when you're going to move it, oops, you know, it moves the card and away from the words. So the next step is to select all of it and just group it. That way you have it right there. Now if this is going to be a print and cut, you have to be really careful. I'm just going to ungroup it first. You have to be careful because you have to make sure that these words will not cut. And you're going to check by going to your little scissors here. And as you can see, there are some, the words have red on it, so they have cut lines on it. And so you say no cuts. And it seems to be that there's other work here. And I'm just going to grab it. Look at all the things you can find here. Oops. Accidentally did a rectangle on it rather than a delete. Okay. Alright. So now we make sure that our cake, the words are not going to be cut, and they're not. The only thing that will be cut is the red around the card itself. So that's perfect. We'll get out of there, and it's all lined up, and so now we can go back and we can group it. One card done. Okay, next one. Next one is super lovely. I love it. It's lovely. That's all I can say about it. It's lovely, lovely. Okay, so we already have a rectangle created, our card. So now what we're going to do is fill it with our paper. And I'm going to go down here and select my paper that I purchased at the Silhouette store. And all I need to do is create this banner and the wording right there. So the banner is super easy. I'm just going to zoom in here. I grab a hold of my rectangle here, and I'm just going to make a banner about yay big. And I'm just going to select it. Going to go to my fill color and select black. My lines, I'm going to go here and select no lines. With having that selected there, I'm just going to go here and get my edit points, and I'm going to go for the center of the side here, and I'm just going to click and create another edit point. Now I'm going to drag that edit point right about there. That's good. Okay, so now I created my little banner flag thingy, but I also want to create the inside, the stroke inside of the banner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my offset right here, offset window, and I'm going to create an internal offset. And as you can see, it just created one. I'm going to zoom in here. Oops, too close. So it created the line here, but it's also a circle, and it's rounded right here, and I don't want it to be rounded. So I'm going to go back and I'll zoom in here. There we go. And I'm going to go back to my internal offset. There we go. And before I hit apply, I'm just going to go down here on the bottom, hit corner. Do you see how it changed right there, and now it's more sharp? And I prefer that over the round. So I'm happy with that, and I'm going to hit apply. The only thing I don't like is that I don't want the color red. So I'm going to go here to my line color and select white. The white looks faded, and some people like that because it looks like a chalk, look that's really trending right now, but I want it to be nice and thick and white. I want it to stand out. So I'm just going to go right here to my line thickness, and because it's a print and cut, it's important that in your line thickness it does not say 0 because it will not print. So I'm happy with that 75. Okay, perfect. And the next thing we're going to do is create the font. And actually, before we create the font, I'm just going to move this out of the way, and I'm just going to group this together. There's the group. I knew it was there somewhere. Okay, right about there. Alright, so I'm going to go here to my text and just click right in here. 72 is obviously too big. That might even be too big, so I'll go 14. The font that I'm using is Admiration Pains. Interesting. Okay, and the word is simplicity. I wish we had autocorrect here. I hope I spelt it right. It's so late. Okay, so first off, I noticed about the wording is that it looks like it's just chalked on, and I want it to look like this. I like a little bit of the scratchiness because it'll go with the grungy of the paper, but I need more to it. So what I want to do, because right now I want to select the fill color, and I want it to be white. Now if you went here and selected no lines, it would look like this. So it's up to you how you want it to look. And I want it to be a little bit scratchy. Okay, so I'm going to select the line color there. Alright, and they're too squished together, the words, so I'm going to go down here to my character spacing. I'm just going to bring it apart a bit. There we go. And I'm also going to select the banner and the wording, and I'm just going to go and align it, and it's telling me to go there, center. And I know that it's doing it for me, but I don't like where it's going to place it, so I'm going to do it my own way. I'm going to eyeball it instead. And you know what, I can also make it bigger too. So there we go. I don't want it to completely touch the bottom there, but that's good right there. And I'm going to make sure too that because this has another element, you don't want it to be sticking out like this. You want it to be lined up perfectly up against, flushed against your card. And once again, you're going to go and make sure that there are no cut lines other than the outside, because this is going to be a print and cut. So you want to select and hit no cut. Now the internal here, I'm going to select no cut, but it's grouped together right now. Now it's up to you if you want to do this separately, if you want to print and cut all of it with the banner, or if you wanted to cut the banner separately, then of course you would remove the banner and cut it. But this is for me going to be a simple print and cut card. Quick, fast, and easy. And I will be printing it on 65-pound paper to 100-pound paper. Depends, sometimes I like 65, sometimes 100. And I use an inkjet printer. Okay, so I think we have grouped it. Did we group it together? No, we did not. I thought I had grouped it together. So then, of course, the final step is to group it together. And I'm just going to zoom out here. And there you have two lovely cards, quick and fast, for your project life. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and look forward to seeing you in the next one. And stop by my fan page and say hello at my whimsical little world.